I want to start off today's episode by talking about LeBron James because he just finished off a monster game against the Houston Rockets. 48 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, something like that. Huge game. Single-handedly beating. Unfortunately, it's the Houston Rockets because this performance deserved a better opponent. And every time I watch the Lakers play, I can't have enough of hearing the commenters go about how he's in his 20th year, how he's 38 years old,
38 years.
approaching Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, doesn't make him the greatest of all time and all that. Somehow I can't follow the commentators because what they're saying isn't false. It's true, and it's absolutely incredible that he's doing it at this age. There was a stat that blew my mind today. He's averaging 29 points a game this season. That was before this game, so it obviously went up.
Yeah.
And in the 20th year, the second highest points per game average was Kobe Bryant with 17 points. So he's 12 points per game better than the second best guy ever. That stat just blew my mind. That just shows that how incredible he is. We'll start off with the Lakers because they've had a few close games this week. First, they had the double overtime game against Luka Doncic and the Mavericks, where Luka was just incredible. He refused to lose. He hit two 3-pointers that took the game into overtime, and then one more that took into double overtime, and then he eventually closed out the game. And then the Lakers had another close game, was it last night? Yeah, against the Philadelphia 76ers, where they went toe-to-toe with Philadelphia, who were clearly the stronger team. Embiid and Harden were really good. But they went toe-to-toe. Russell Westbrook was good for a lot of the game, except the last 5 seconds. Now, whatever happened in the last 5 seconds was inexplicable. I don't even think Russell Westbrook has an explanation for that. And today against the Houston Rockets, it was again close. Eventually, Lebron was too good to beat the Houston Rockets, who are dead last in the league. Now, the Lakers are 13th in the Western Conference, despite what you might say good performances from them over the last week. And good performances generally over the last 15 days or so. But they're still 13th. Oklahoma Thunder are going up, are inching up for this Lakers team. Does the return of Anthony Davis solve that issue? I don't think so.
If he is fit, it should. Excuse me, bad throat. Back during the bubble season and for a part of the subsequent season, there was a lot of talk of how Anthony Davis is actually the finisher for this team. He's the future of the franchise. He's the finisher. He's the one that has to take over. He was third quarter Davis for a while, and then the expectation was he'd be the finisher. The big difference is, so we think they're playing better. That's because they set our expectations at rock bottom. We got anchored to absolute trash, and so we think they're playing better. But results speak. If you're gonna,
the opponents is there.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And even now it takes like Herculean efforts from Lebron to move anything here. It's almost like the Mavs, the Lakers, except the Mavs are probably better. They don't have a closer one. Two, fundamentally, I think they still have a little bit of figuring out to do. They've had, even, I mean, despite all of these things, it's not a bad turnaround that they've had with Russell Westbrook. He gave them some 25, 5 and 5 or something like that against Houston. He had similarly good numbers, triple-double in fact against Philadelphia. Was that footage real where he said it's all about having fun? I thought it looked like it looked like a deep fake. I can't believe he said that. Anyway, so they've done some bits and pieces of figuring out. There are a couple of major issues here that are still an issue, and maybe a part of that has to do with the fact that they have a new coach, right? Because he is bringing his own system in. He's trying to figure out his own way to integrate Russell Westbrook. Somewhere, I don't think they have a clue as to what to do in tight games. Today, it was just LeBron took the ball and won the match. That's pretty much it. He made things happen. Let's just put it that way. Because I think under 2 minutes out to the end of the game, it was still a 1 point or 2 point game, and then the Lakers had an 8-1 or 9-1 run or something. So finishing, big problem. That was the Houston Rockets. What do you do? That's even the Bulls. What do you do? Forget anyone else. Right. So no finisher. But to me, the biggest problem right now is, okay, they've figured out how to bring in Westbrook. I don't know how they've not figured out not to give him the ball to close out the game. I mean, this much even OKC knew. If Paul George was on the floor, he'd get the ball. The Houston Rockets knew there is no way, except the Wizards, where frankly, who else do you give it to? It wasn't going to happen, right? So they don't have a finishing strategy in place. They don't have a big man. That's their biggest problem. That's why I'm saying AD back will fix it. Remember when AD was prime AD, at least as far as Lakers AD goes, and The Lakers used to finish so many games off by the end of the third quarter that they didn't quite need to be in the fourth quarter.
You're talking about the season where before the bubble, right?
Correct.
Before they went into the bubble, that season,
It's what they used to say about Kobe and Jordan also, right? Where you say, okay, they've hit so many game winners and it's impressive, but the best finishers are actually the ones that finish the game off in the third quarter. They don't even let it go.
That's the Warriors thing,
AD that's not happening because they don't have an AD quality player, which they're used to in the squad. And B, if you look at it, the opponent centers run riot every time they play against the Lakers. Everyone has a monster game. Kapala gave me, I don't know how many fantasy points when he played the Lakers. Şengün yesterday shot 14 of 17 from the field. What the fuck?
He was brilliant.
What the fuck? Yeah, he could be brilliant, man. 14 of 17. Where's the defense? Thomas Bryant, he's added a nice, neat dimension offensively, but defensively is nowhere, man.
True.
I think these are the two big problems. So AD coming back fixes to a large extent both, because they get a big man that can guard the paint. AD, even at his worst, is still an excellent defender. It's the offense that takes a beating every now and then. And then with him, hopefully they can finish games off a lot earlier than like the clutch 1 minute where ball goes into Westbrook's hands and then it's over.
I like it. I like the theory. My problem with the Lakers is not with LeBron or with AD's fitness or whatnot. I think their role players are below average.
They're trash. Let's just say it.
Trash, right? I mean, look at contending teams. Look at Denver. Their role players are Bruce Brown and Bones Island of the bench, who can come and get you 15, 20 points whenever you want. You look at the Warriors, they have a bunch of role players. You look at the Phoenix Suns, forget the Phoenix Suns, I'll cancel them because we are seeing the role players play now. But you look at Memphis Grizzlies, they have a bunch of players.
Pelicans, man.
Yeah?
Pelicans also. Insane.
Pelicans have a never-ending bunch of players, right? But the Lakers, even the starters beyond the top two, Schroeder is okay, but JTA, Thomas Bryant, Wenyen Gabriel, Troy Brown, I can go on and on. I don't think these are elite. They should be at best 8th man in the team, at best. And they're probably in your top 5, top 6 in the team. That's a problem for me. So my problem is not with LeBron and AD. They can be as awesome as they want.
That's fair.
You just need decent players, right? What did they have when they won the bubble? They had KCP and they had Kuzma and they had Dwight Howard and all those who could hold their own when needed. But those are the kind of players that are missing in this roster. My problem is not even with Russell Westbrook. You can have Westbrook. It's those role players. I think that is a big problem for the Lakers. I don't see the return of AD solving it as long as they can. I mean, that's why you need to trade those 2 picks. I mean, you keep talking about the 2 picks, right? Use them, get those role players you need, whatever it might be. I mean, those picks are 5-6 years down the line. It could be a disaster then. Who cares? It's LeBron. He's still playing at a peak level. You got to utilize.
No, it's fair. I don't think I meant AD coming back would make them contenders, but it would certainly fix some of they're playing well but dropping games issue. That's about all. But absolutely, the squad is nowhere close. You mentioned Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was the backup. They had JaVale McGee to start, then Howard to cover for him. KCP. I hate when I blank out on names. Caruso, there you go. They had Caruso, they had Kuz, they had so many either 3-and-D or rebound and defense or points and rebounds. They had so many functional role players that could fill at least 2 stat categories, and that means also create impact in those parts of the court. They have none of that now. And I say that with an emphasis on none because that's another piece that it just puzzles me. They have none, but they have really none of him. I loved him in Miami. I don't know where that guy went. He's young. He's not even like he's in his twilight or anything.
He was a contender for the Rookie of the Year in the bubble. I remember. The second guy I want to talk about, or the second team I want to talk about is the Thunder, which we rarely talk about, right? They seem to be making a run, and in the last 2 weeks, here are the results. They beat Boston Celtics. They scored 150 against the best defense in the league, against the Boston Celtics, without SGA. They beat Miami. They lost to Miami in a very, very close game. That's because Jimmy Butler was awesome down the stretch. And they beat Philadelphia with SGA going bonkers yet again. And it seems like the Thunder have decided, okay, enough of tanking, enough of draft picks. We have enough of them. Let's make the play-in at least. And I think that's great. And if I had to pick SGA, he would probably be in my top 15 players in the league at the moment. Just looking at the way he's playing, except Luka Doncic, nobody has more 30-point games than him this season. And he's incredible. It's just amazing to watch him play. I think Josh Giddey has come along nicely. He's getting a triple-double almost every other game. And with Chet Holmgren coming in next year, they might probably have multiple picks next year as well. I love this team. I think they'll be a fun team to watch. Do you see them making the play-in? And who's the team that will drop off if they have to make the play-in?
So Utah confused me.
Dropped out?
Yeah, I would. I mean, that would be stunning if they drop. Suns are behind OKC right now, right? They're not too far away from dropping out. No, I think Booker comes back. There's no way they stay there. There's no way the Suns stay there. I am telling this for my own mental health. There is no way. I'm just going to question my understanding of the sport. Suns, I don't think will drop out. I think it'll be somebody who's currently in the plains that will make way. Utah confused the crap out of me because every now and then they have a spell where they look like, okay, that's it. It's, party's over. They're tanking. It's done.
Utah's not tanking. As long as they have Markkanen and Jordan.
Yeah, now it doesn't look like. Yeah. So Utah's going nowhere. So then I think the only logical answer would be, I'd hate to say it, but I think Portland might drop out.
Yeah, they had a bad stretch, right? Before these 2 wins, they had lost 5 in a row. They had lost 7 home away games. And then Dame Lillard just went berserk. He scored, I think Dame's averaging like 38 over his last 5 games.
Yeah, that's what always happens. Everyone sucks and then Dame Lillard goes berserk. This is the one-liner of that franchise for the last 8-9 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be Portland. And I fear, my fear always with Portland is, they're tragically, almost mythologically, in an epic way, injury prone. The greatest mythological characters, all the power in the world is the worst luck, or somebody curses them when they're young. It's all across Greek, Indian. It could be Jeremy Grant, it could be Lillard again. He's recovering, though he looks amazing, in amazing form. But with these injuries, you never know. There's always an at-risk player in Portland. Somehow I just have a very bad feeling about them. And then Nurkic, for some reason, has been fairly well available this season, and that you never know when that party is going to end. So my fear with Portland is always that fitness comes before form for them, and at the most inopportune moment, someone has to sit out a bunch of games, and there could be crucial games, and they're done. True. So that's kind of why I'm going for Portland, if at all. That's not a prediction. I'm saying if OKC go up, I don't see anyone other than Portland dropping, but I don't think it's going to happen unless Portland have some grave injuries in their squad.
Okay, I have two teams to talk about before we. I think we need to talk about the All-Star because the All-Star deadline is coming through, and we need to pick a team as part of the Airball Diaries. So we'll talk about that after this. But before that, KD's out. Brooklyn Nets played a game after that against the Boston Celtics, and Ben Simmons was awesome in that game defensively. Okay, he had 9 rebounds, 13 assists. He was brilliant. Jason Tatum was kind of shut down by Ben Simmons, and that was brilliant. And then in the fourth quarter, during a close game, he had a layup opportunity under the basket and he passed it off again to Nick Claxton, who looked surprised. He's like, why are you passing me the ball? And the ball just went out. Yeah. And then he had picked up 5 fouls along the way, and then he got subbed out, and then Celtic just ran amok and there was no stopping them. But how can a player be on two ends of the spectrum where he's so awesome defensively and he's so pathetic offensively? And it surprises me because he's the guy who used to get 30 points, 40 points whenever he wanted.
Yeah.
No shooting, but he could go and dunk. He could go at the layups. He's still passing amazing. But can a team survive when a player doesn't want to score? The last time he scored a free throw was November 25th. That's like a month ago. More than a month ago.
Yeah, see, the thing about free throws is you only get them when you attempt a shot.
Exactly.
By and large, except when you're the others in the penalty. Yeah, he's a liability there. I don't know what to say.
We've spoken about the Nets where we don't need Ben Simmons shooting, right? You said you have Kyrie, you have Seth Curry, you have KD, you have TJ Warren now, and you have Joe Harris. You don't really need Ben Simmons' points. But can you survive if a team is fit, if that team is fit? Can you survive if Ben Simmons scores 0 points on 2 attempts per game?
Yeah, I think the question is, so what we said was they have enough offensive firepower that they don't need to rely on Ben Simmons. That's true. I can still largely stand by that. But you can't be going into the playoffs with a guy that you don't need to rely on is fine. Yeah. But a guy that you can't rely on, even if you have no other option, push comes to shove, life on the line, just nope, can't give him the ball, that's a problem. That's a real problem. I don't know why he doesn't even dunk anymore. There are games. We've seen him the previous time that he passed on a layup opportunity. That wasn't even a layup opportunity. He had a clean line to the basket, 2 steps. That's a dunk.
Yep.
And he's got size, he's got speed, he's freakishly athletic. What's stopping him from dunking the ball? I don't know.
He looks like a totally different player. That Ben Simmons of 2020 is no longer alive.
No, but it's insane, right? All the money in the world in this franchise, or any franchise for that matter, they've got sports doctors and they've got mental health experts, and they have nobody that can. Either they're working on it and it's work in progress. But if you've just kind of resigned to this fate of he's the new Rodman, that's fine and all. But I don't know if that kind of a role can be afforded by every squad in today's game. Maybe not even the Brooklyn Nets.
True, I agree.
So, yeah, I don't know. In the playoffs, I think it might get exposed.
Like Giannis is poor with free throws, right? You saw in the season where they won the title. He didn't care. I mean, he would miss 10 free throws a game and he would still go and charge at the bucket, get fouled, go take free throws, miss it again, come back again, take a free throw again. Draymond Green is the other example. He sucks from outside the arc, but that doesn't stop him from shooting threes. He shoots threes despite having Steph and Clay on two sides of him. So he makes them whenever he needs to. Like today, he hit 2 threes in the fourth quarter, which was great. But he's not scared of them. The thing with Ben Simmons, he's scared of getting to the free throw line. I think that experience in Philadelphia just scarred him for life. Like he doesn't even want to go to the free throw line anymore. It doesn't matter if he misses 5 free throws, right? You still have a chance at making 40%, 50%, whatever.
Yeah.
This is
I mean,
ridiculous.
I know. I hope somebody can. I mean, it's sad to see. Also, I hope a player of that caliber, you'd really want to see the best of him. Like Dennis Rodman before he became out and out Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
He was an okay player. He would chip in points in the Pistons. But it wasn't like, oh my God, this guy could be one of the greatest at his position ever. Nope. Yeah. That was his defense. That was his rebounding. It was never offense. Never ever offense. He wasn't that level of complete player, Dennis Rodman, ever. So they weren't quite. He doesn't even have Draymond level of offense. Draymond's an excellent playmaker even if he doesn't shoot. Rodman never had that. Why are we... I mean, we're a little too quick to box Simmons. I would still bat for him. I hope somebody can figure it out. I don't know if it's for the Nets. I don't know what franchise, but it would be good to see the best of Ben Simmons, the full version of Ben Simmons, even if that means an inefficient Ben Simmons. Have you seen Russell Westbrook survive and thrive in this league? Efficiency doesn't count for shit if you can put up numbers.
If the Lakers had a chance today where they were trailing by 2 and 5 seconds were left and Russell Westbrook had the ball, he was going for the same play that he did yesterday. There was no way he's passing the ball or whatever, right? I mean, that is Russell Westbrook. He survived because of this
he'll just do it. It doesn't matter who says what, he'll just do it. Then he'll come out and say shit like, as long as he had fun, it's okay.
It works. It helped him survive how many years in the league now? 12 years? So I won an MVP.
Well,
so.
You know how they say, imagine if Lebron had his skill, but say Kobe's mindset or Jordan's mindset or whatever. Imagine the player he could be. You don't have to, it doesn't always work out. Everyone's got some flaw. But imagine if you had Ben Simmons' skill with a Russ Westbrook attitude where we talk about Giannis not caring about Russ doesn't give a fuck. Free throws, 3 points, missed passes. He doesn't give a damn what people say. It's admirable in a way. Nothing gets to him, man. I don't think it's a front. You can't fake it this much. You can't say shit like as long as you had fun. He genuinely believes it's okay. The outside world is clueless. I love it. If only Ben Simmons could be that way.
Totally. The last team I want to talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 6-4 in the last 10. Doesn't appear too shocking, but they had the stretch where Giannis is scoring single-digit points and then he's passing the ball a lot more and whatnot. All that is great. My point is, where the hell is Chris Middleton? It's halfway through the season. He's played 7 games. He was supposed to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he's a free agent at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Is it even worth thinking that the Bucks might not renew his contract at the end of this year?
That's an interesting question. No, I don't think so. I think so. They'll do it. The Bucks are... listen, after what Giannis showed them in terms of loyalty, if they flip on Middleton now, that's got to be a problem. I think it'll come down to what Giannis has to say. If Giannis says let him go, then I think they won't think twice. But otherwise, he's absolutely...
for another asset. I mean, do you really need to bank on Chris Middleton? Do you have Drew Holiday? Keep him. He's on a big contract. He's on a long-term contract. Giannis is there locked in for the next few years. Can you flip Chris Middleton to someone who can shoot?
Yeah, I mean, unless the prognosis is that he's out, he's gonna have this as a recurring issue for the rest of his career, then maybe you think about it. But otherwise, for me, I would see Chris Middleton's 32. First of all, it's not the end of the world. I think we're in an era where 35 is also A lot of players now. LeBron is elite, of course, and he's a great example. But so is Chris Paul. We've got a bunch of... Dwight Howard was pretty amazing when he was 35. So Steph, 35. So I think we're in the era of much better medical knowledge and diets and fitness and conditioning and all that. And unless your name's Anthony Davis, you're pretty well set even at 32. I would shudder to think what... Anyway. So if Middleton can come back and he's by and large the same Chris Middleton, that's a priceless asset. Why would you trade that for anything? Just the cultural know-how, the knowledge of being in that squad, the team culture and all of that. That's a prized asset. For me, that would be what DeRozan was for a while, or actually no, not even DeRozan, Kyle Lowry for Toronto. I think Middleton would sort of move into that space, and there will be a future when there is an FVV type guy and he's just waiting to take over, and now you're fairly old, where now experience and culture is the only thing you can offer. Maybe you go to a Miami or something like that could badly use it, but still be valued there, right? I see for Chris Middleton, it's almost that kind of path, because he's been a Bucks guy since forever, so he's in that exact Kyle Lowry mold. I don't think they should let him go unless it's clear that that's it. You're going to get some sort of half-baked version of Middleton for the rest of his career.
Interesting you mentioned DeRozan. What if the Bucks called up Chicago Bulls and the Bulls have lost like 7 in a row and it's the trade deadline and the Bulls decide, okay, this is not happening this year, let's tank, let's get rid of all our assets and rebuild and whatnot. The Bucks call up Bulls and they say, we'll give you Middleton's expiring contract, so you just have to take the contract for the end of the year and give up DeRozan return. Would the Bulls take that? I mean, would the Bucks do that in the first place?
No, I don't think the Bucks would. I don't think the Bulls should take that deal. Because why would you give up DeRozan for an expiring contract? Because he's still there's some value. I'm not saying you'll get picks or anything in return, but there's some value. Also, what do you do with Middleton if you're going to rebuild? Unless you get a pick or two. Yeah, I know, but unless you're getting a pick or two, I know you can clear some cap space, but unless you get a pick or two, it doesn't make it. For me, it stops at the Bucks level. Why would you do it? Because you're giving up Middleton. An expiring contract is only relevant to you if there is a possibility that you won't renew that contract. If that's not even, if that's out of question, then it doesn't matter that it's an expiring contract, right? So then what do you get in return? You get an even older DeRozan, who probably, if a fit Middleton today is a way better option than DeRozan, right? He's better on offense, way better on defense. DeRozan used to be pretty elite, but he's now in the twilight of his career. So it's not a great value fit, this trade for the Bucks. I think that's where it stops. Bulls may yet consider it if there's a couple of picks thrown in.
All right. We need to do the All-Stars, because I know you've given your vote, I've given my vote, but let's do this on behalf of the Airball Diaries, and let's keep out the highlights and show reels and whatnot. Let's give it to the deserving players, okay? Who deserves it? Like last week I mentioned about Embiid or KD, and you said, who would pick Embiid in an All-Star game? Let's. I mean, that's the fun of the exercise, right? I mean, if I had to do it just because of highlights, I want Steph, I want Ja Morant, I need whoever can dunk, Zion Williamson.
No, I mean, merit should shortlist. Highlights offerings should be the final.
Okay, let's give it a small percentage, a small weightage. Availability, a little bit more than that. Okay. And then deserving, of course, right?
Yeah. I'm totally confident we'll fuck up the math, so let's just give our names.
Of course. Let's start off with the West. Okay, we need to pick up 5 starters and then 7 reserves after that. Is there any lock for you? I think Jokic and Luka, there's not even worth discussing, right? Those two just fill up those 2 spots.
Okay, in the West, yeah, for sure. Steph also, I think these 3 are pretty much a lock.
Oh, okay, I have some discussion about Steph.
Okay.
That's a guard spot, right? And you already picked Luka in one of the spots. So there's
Steph is
one
in the
guard spot left. That's one guard spot left. You have Steph, you have Ja Morant, you have SGA who's averaging 31, 32 points. You have De'Aaron Fox who's been brilliant. Dame Lillard who's been on fire.
Okay, Lillard.
And Devin Booker who we've forgotten, but he was brilliant as long as he played. Would Steph beat all of them? Ja Morant, Memphis are on top of the West.
Yeah. Morant, yes. Stop it. Relax. Yes, Steph beats Morant. First of all, again, you're saying some voltage to entertainment factor, right? Steph should be in the All-Star game even if there's 1% Steph, Giannis, there are some players you just don't leave out of the All-Star game. And these guys are up there, right? So who is he competing with, right? He's...
like I said, John Devin Booker, SGA, De'Aaron Fox, Dame Lillard.
Booker's missed a bunch of games. Booker is used to being rejected
Steph missed a bunch of games. Steph missed 12 games.
Yeah, but he's not used to being rejected for the All-Star game. Booker's best case is somebody gets injured and he gets called up. That's pretty much been his...
SGA.
SGA is nice. SGA is interesting. No. So the backcourt is Steph and who's the other guy? It doesn't really matter. There you go.
Okay, Steph and Luka and Jokic.
Yeah, I think it's fair also. Look, Luka's merit, entertainment, everything under the sun. Luka just waltzes in.
Luka, I think, is a lock.
So him and Jokic are just easy, no debate. Between, I think, so Steph and Ja Morant, for me it's more, before you compare Steph to SGA's odds of making it or should he make it, let's just... So I'm ruling out Ja Morant, I'm ruling out Devin Booker. Dan Fox has been good, but relax, he's nowhere in the top three even in the West, right? It's sad. I think one of him or Sabonis should have found a way in. Maybe Sabonis will yet, but no chance for Fox. So my question would be SGA versus Lillard to begin with. Let's just hold off on Steph for a second.
Okay.
SGA versus Lillard. Lillard's missed a few games, but I don't know, I would still much rather have Lillard in the All-Star game than SGA. The problem with SGA is I don't watch enough of his games end to end live. It's only just highlights and all of that, so I'm not really that excited by him. He's not box office to the point where I'll tune in no matter who else is playing. Luka is. Luka could be playing anywhere in the league and I'd watch. SGA, not yet. So maybe a year later, SGA come back. But between Lillard and Steph, now I'll conveniently switch the argument to Lillard's missed a few games. I don't know how many Steph has missed, but I think Steph should make.
Well, I think SG has played more games than both of them. And he's the second highest points per game this season. That's my argument for...
No, his record's amazing. There's no argument on merit.
Yeah, I think Steph wins too, because he's back now. He's missed 12 games and he's not going to miss more, right? So I think... And the way he's playing, every single game he's played, he's awesome. He scored 40, 41, 42 today. He was brilliant. And that's entertainment. I mean, the shots he hits...
It's the All-Star game,
man. He's
man.
the reigning All-Star MVP, so I think it deserves it.
Is SGA going to shoot from half field and turn around before the ball goes in and the ball goes in? Nope. Fuck off. SGA, come back next year. And by the way, we're debating who should make it. If it is who will make it, I think it's a no-brainer, because if the internet has its way...
Who should make it.
Yeah. If the internet has its way, it's got to be basically Lakers and Warriors all across.
Yeah, it's 50% of the vote, I think, is internet.
Alright,
so that's Steph, Luka and Jokic logged in now. The two forward positions are open. And here are contenders, right? Lebron, of course, has to be there.
Of course.
Zion Williamson, I know he's injured, but as long as he played, he was brilliant. I think he deserves to be there.
Yeah, get a call up, and then if he's not fit, then replace.
Yeah, then you can replace him with Sabonis or whoever. Sabonis, of course, the third contender.
Yes.
Markkanen. So you have
and this is 4 for 2 spots, right?
Yes.
Because assuming Jokic, Jokic is a lock. So then,
So 2 spots.
So you're saying LeBron, Zion,
and Sabonis.
Markkanen, Sabonis. Okay. Should eliminate one to begin with. 4 is a lot. Yeah, I think the easy elimination here is Sabonis. Sadly, again, sorry, Sacramento. Okay. I think Sacramento they're victims of having built a good squad. That no one guy has to do so much now. It's really impressive, the squad. It's fun to watch.
One of the more entertaining teams, scoring 130.
Yeah. I mean, there are games where neither Sabonis nor Fox. Day before yesterday, I think, was one such example where neither of them are the top scorers.
Even Mitchell went berserk, and then Malik Monk off the bench went berserk.
Yeah, so Barnes. So they've got so much rotation that sadly that also means you don't make it. So Sabonis is out, right? So Markkanen, LeBron, Zion. Now again, this is significantly driven by internet voting. So this isn't a discussion of who will make it. It's Markkanen's got no shot of making it. But who should make it? 2 spots, 3 guys. I think Markkanen's out. I know he's been amazing.
Wow. Okay.
But he's also, he's been amazing based off of what? Of what we expect. So the delta between what we expected and what he's giving us, it's insane. It's a big shift.
True.
But that's about it. That doesn't mean he's on the same level as Zion. He's not. he doesn't influence wins to the level that Zion does. We could look up the advanced stats, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And if not, then I'll say the stats have flaws. And LeBron's LeBron. There's a franchise that's surviving, and anyone gives a damn about that franchise, it's largely because it's LeBron. And he's playing frankly at such an elite level. How do you count him out? It's not just that in year 20 or at age 38 he has the highest blah 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 per game.
Yep.
Just in general in the league he has one of the highest blah 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 in each stat category per game, which is fucking insane. So LeBron and Zion for me. So what's our lineup now?
I think if we had this discussion like 2 weeks ago, it would be like Zion and Markkanen for me, because Markkanen has been amazing, but then LeBron has just been on a tear of late. And
you will keep LeBron James out of an All-Star game.
I'm trying to make the debate.
Unless he dips to below 20 points per game, you keep LeBron James out. Kobe made it just sitting on the bench. He made it, and I think he led the voting that year. There is no way.
All right, I buy the argument. I think LeBron, Zion, Jokic, Luka.
So what's our lineup now? So Luka, Steph, Zion, LeBron, Jokic, right?
Yeah, fair enough. I think
that's an amazing lineup. Would you really replace the entertainment value of this lineup by corrupting it with a Markkanen or a fucking
I was trying to make it a fun exercise.
SGA?
Nope, I think SGA would get the reserve. Falk, Ja Morant, Booker.
Yeah, that's all good. Reserves, whoever. Nobody cares. But
cool.
First unit.
Let's move on to the East because we're running out of time here. KD, Giannis, Tatum, Embiid. We need to pick 3 of them. We need to drop one. I don't think there's a contender even.
Sorry, I lost the connection for a bit. We're doing the East front court?
Yes, the East front court. Okay. KD, Giannis, Tatum, Embiid. You need to drop one. Unless you think any... Okay, first of all, does Randall, Bam Adebayo, Siakam...
No. Posing is Jimmy Butler. No.
Yeah, okay. No. Excluding them now. KD, Giannis, Tatum, and Embiid.
Yeah, drop one. I feel like we're playing Flames in high school. Yeah, so I think we had a fair bit of debate earlier in our group on this. For me, it's actually a very easy drop. I don't know why it's a debatable. At least for me, Embiid goes out straight. There's like no questions here. Mm-hmm. So my rationale is, forget the entertainment factor for a second. Tatum is, for me right now, he's top 2 in the MVP race, maybe top 3. Tatum's right up there with Luka and Jokic.
And he had a 51-point game today too.
Yeah, probably front runner too if you consider a league position and all of that. So Tatum's an automatic selection. Giannis, unless he's out for the season, is an automatic selection for the next 6 years at the very least. Okay, so because you can't. I mean, in the East, he's MVP plus DPOY contender every fucking year. You can't keep him off the All-Star game. So Giannis makes it in, right? So there's really only one spot, and it's KD versus Embiid. Even on performance, it's no question who's better this season. Forget entertainment and all that. Just on pure merit, KD just outshines.
I can't debate that. I think so too. I think I have a bias against Embiid. It's not fun to watch him play.
yeah, that's the other factor.
Even if their performances are equal, I think the entertainment factor, that little weightage we gave, just KD outclasses in there. Even availability, Embiid has missed enough games, I would say. So KD just makes it there, even though he's going to miss. Backcourt. Your options are Donovan Mitchell. I think who should be a lock.
Sure. I'd buy that, yeah.
Alright, so Donovan Mitchell's a lock. So we have 4 and we have 1 spot remaining. You have to pick between Halliburton, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Darius Garland.
No love for Trae Young?
Trae Young, okay. Trae Young.
LaMelo? LaMelo's missed too many games, man. Yeah, so the easiest thing to agree on is Donovan Mitchell's been insane. My only hope is it still doesn't change what I said preseason. My only hope is he carries this through to the play-ins, the playoffs or whatever, and really does something postseason. 1 series win, all we ask. So what Luka did it was Luka's trial by fire. It's the same rules apply here, and Luka did it better than that again later. But Trae Young did it, so I mean, come on, Donovan. So, but yeah, lock Donovan Mitchell. It's so tough to be Jaylen Brown in this league. Because I think he's going to get left out, even in my little, and by the way, we're leaving out Brunson, honorable mentions, maybe Harden. I'd leave out Garland too, that comfortably. Yeah. Right. So the only person I'm really considering from this whole lot,
Kyrie,
of course. So I thought Kyrie was the default consideration, and then the other one being Halliburton. It's a tough pick. But again, same logic that I'll use for Markkanen. So for me, the All-Star game, you don't get brownie points for being a young guy that does XYZ or whatever. You're elite or you're not.
It's entertaining.
No
Not
denying.
as entertaining as.
Are you fucking kidding me? There is nobody more entertaining than Kyrie on and off the court. Kyrie is the most fun basketball player to watch, to listen to read about. Nobody compares. But my problem is beyond that. So it's same logic as Markkanen. Halliburton's what a year he's had. If I were to draw an MVP shortlist up, and it could go to whatever rank 10, rank 15, rank 20.
Yeah.
Is he above Kyrie? I don't think it's close. I don't think he is. I don't even think it's close. League position, performances, numbers, stats, everything. He's only got that playmaking side to him, but otherwise it's Kyrie all the way. And then in the playoffs, who would you pick? Are you serious? That's not even a question you'd ask.
Why are we talking about the playoffs?
No, merit. Just to establish merit. So I'm saying he's nowhere close to Kyrie. On numbers, on ability, or how much you would trust them in different scenarios. Kyrie showed up to games. Just played. I'm not even saying showed up. Like showed up or he performed.
After all that
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Nah, I think it's whatever. I think the stupid crap they do off the court should be off the court, unless of course they commit a crime, in which case it's not really a decision to make. The police will do the rest. For me, it's that. Like we've seen it in the NFL. People say dumb shit all the time. Whatever they play, actors say dumb shit all the time. You still watch their movies. So. Unless they go beat up someone, like a domestic violence case that we saw in the NFL, and then that's a whole different stream altogether. So for me, Kyrie is better than Halliburton on pure merit, on performance this season, and then entertainment value. It's no question. Screw a Kyrie, I'd pick LaMelo over Halliburton. Frankly, Halliburton's amazing. I mean, it's what, year 2? Is it? It's 3. Okay. Phenomenal, right? But again, just like Markkanen, it's what you expect versus what you get. We all knew he was talented. We were all excited to see what he would do in a franchise that really doesn't expect a lot from him or from the franchise, and where he's probably the numero uno. And he's delivered. I think he's done a fab job. Actually reminds me of a very young De'Aaron Fox. Huh?
Indiana in the playing spot now.
Yeah. He reminds me a bit of like early stage De'Aaron Fox, but probably better. Because more diverse skill set. Great. Congratulations about Kyrie. Fuck off Halliburton.
Agreed. I mean, you still got to give that entertainment value a little bit more weighted than what we initially discussed. I like the Kyrie pick. I think I'll go with him. Well, that's our East All-Star. KD, Giannis, Tatum, Mitchell, and Kyrie Irving beating Halliburton for the last spot. Ooh, that was fun. I'm going to do the voting on behalf of the Airball Diaries. I'll use our email ID to do that. But as always, great fun talking to you, and I'll catch you next week.
Alright, cheers man, bye.
Bye.